Okay, hi everybody. I'm just going to do a quick video here pertaining to the double stroke roll on the drum set. And this is one of those videos where I really wish I had microphones in a studio and everything because it would sound a lot better, especially the bass drum. It's difficult to hear the bass drum, but that's the only disclaimer I'm going to have. So I talked about rolls, the double stroke roll in another video. There's a few other types of double stroke rolls that can be used on the drum set, and the first one I'm going to start with is called the 5-stroke roll, and it's played like this. It's a roll where you're bouncing twice on both hands and then doing a tap. So it's slow, in kind of a slow motion it would be. I'm not putting a rest in between each one. I'm doing it continuously because that's a little bit more applicable to the drum set. So what you can do with this is, instead of playing the accent on the snare drum, you can transfer the accent to the toms or the cymbals, like this. Now, if you're going to do the bass drum, it might be a good idea to ignore the tap or not do the tap on the snare drum and instead just do it on the bass drum. That would make it sound a little bit neater. But so on the toms or on the cymbals. If you speed it up, it starts to sound a little bit more impressive. So that's the 5-stroke roll you can do on the drum set. Similarly, the 7-stroke roll has an accent. This one doesn't alternate, so it's played like this. Left, right, right, left, left, then right is the tap. And just like the 5-stroke roll, you can transfer the tap to the toms, or to the bass drum, or to the cymbals. Speeding it up sounds a little more impressive. Okay, so that's the 7-stroke roll. Now I'm going to quickly talk about a fill that I heard Keith Carlock do once a few years ago, and I believe what he did was a 6-stroke roll, which is not part of the original 26, but the 6-stroke roll is played with 2 diddles and then 2 taps. So and the way I saw him do it is, I'm just guessing here because I've seen him do it live in person, and I've also seen him do it on video, and I believe what he's doing a 6-stroke roll, and he's starting on his lowest tom, which he usually uses 4 toms. I only have 3 set up here. He will start with the 6-stroke roll and go up the toms and then hit the snare on the last note. So it'll be in slow motion, something like this. And then sped up, it sounds a little bit more impressive, so I'll kind of progressively speed it up here. So if he had if he had 4 toms, I'm hitting with the one in the middle here twice. That's what I heard him do. So that's kind of a cool little thing that I figured out, and it's I haven't really been able to use it that much in my gigs, and so it's just kind of, it's probably more for soloing, but you can, I mean, if you can find a way to use it, then more power to you. All right, one more thing, the Keith Carlock rolling fill that he does a lot. He's he's probably best known for this type of fill. I don't know if he invented it or if he heard it from somebody and just started doing it more himself. But it's basically a fill where you're playing a double stroke. You stop playing the roll and you do a quick drag double with your bass drum, and then and then 2 taps on the toms, or really anywhere you want, but I'll just use the 2 top toms from right to left. I don't know how difficult that is to hear, because I don't have a microphone on the bass drum or anything, but I'm just going. It's basically just. Now I'm showing you how to do this, and I'll admit I'm not the best at it. I've been working on it for a long time. It's difficult to implement into music because the timing is very temperamental with it. Keith would say that it cannot actually be transcribed correctly. And I think it's because when you go to do the drag is somewhat out of time. Because if it was in time, it would probably sound something like this. But it's not ever like that. The 2 taps on the toms are always quicker. It's hard to get the bass drum lined up just right to get it to sound good, and it probably sounds even worse on the phone. So, but anyway, so real slow. He does sometimes with it is he'll put another accent on the left hand right after he comes back. So without the bass drum, we'll just you'll come back. You'll do another diddle with the right hand, and then go back to the rack tom. So with the bass drum. On the snare drum as well. And sometimes he'll actually come back and do 2 taps on the snare drum after having done it. So, and that's something that's a little bit harder to do. I'm still trying to clean it up here and there. One other thing he will do with it, or at least he used to do this, is to end it, he would go after coming back with 1 diddle on the right hand, he would go left and then right hand on one of the lower toms. And so, just to add the bass drum. As I said, it's hard to get the bass drum in there, and it's not working that great for me today, but obviously I still need to practice it a little bit, or a lot. And then so speeding up. So you can do different variations of that just over and over again. what it is. Now, when he plays his double stroke rolls, he's actually a lot better at it in terms of his stick height because he uses a variation of the Moeller stroke. And so he's got a lot of good stick height going on his rolls, and it makes everything sound a lot cleaner. Right now, I don't quite have that going on, but again, something else I need to work on. So when can you use that? Well, if you're really good, you can get it in the middle of a song, hopefully without, you know, blowing up your band, but that's a little bit difficult. It's more useful if you're doing a solo. So for instance, if you have to do a solo on Brick House, a lot of times cover bands will have a drum solo do a solo on Brick House. So let's say we're doing it about this beat. Like that, because you're playing a solo, you don't really have to depend on the meter as much, because normally when you're doing a solo like that, you can count the band back in, you know, unless you're keeping, if you're doing it perfectly in time and the players know, you know, what's going on. But that's just kind of a way to get started on it. So that's all I have for this video. We'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.